Brandon from Longwood, Florida, has a non-wrestling audio question.
Hey Solomonster, this is Brandon Delgado from Longwood, Florida. It's been 10 years since Shea Stadium closed, so I was wondering, buy or sell, which one is your favorite, Shea Stadium or Citi Field? And second, since this week is David Wright's last season and that he's retiring, what do you think? Is he Hall of Fame worthy, or is he just one of those good Mets players that didn't get there all the way?
You can tell by Brandon's question that this has been sitting in my inbox for a while, since the baseball season is long over, and David Wright had his last game as a Met at the end of September. So I apologize it took so long to get to this, but I wanted to get to it now. I can vaguely remember the first, or one of the first games that my father took me to, at the old Shea Stadium. I want to say it was in '86. It could have been '87. I still have my Mets yearbook that they made for 1987. It's around here somewhere. I know it's laying around here, so maybe it was '87. But anyway, I know '87 was my first WWF show. That I know. Anyway, I've been to Shea many, many times, and I've been to Citi Field now since it was created 9 or 10 years ago. I've been there many, many times. I've had the view in Citi Field from up in the nosebleeds. I've had the view from right behind home plate for a playoff game, which was incredible. I've had the view from inside the owner's box above home plate. That was incredible in its own way. So I've seen the game from all different angles inside that stadium. And Citi Field is a much nicer ballpark than Shea Stadium ever was. Shea Stadium was a dump. And people say, oh, yes, but it was our dump. Yes, it had a certain charm to it, but a dump is a dump. And that's what Shea Stadium was. Now, Citi is a lot newer still than Shea was when I first started going to games. But even still, I prefer Citi Field over Shea Stadium. The one thing I will say about Citi, they clearly had an obsession, the owners did, when they conceived of this stadium, with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And the old Ebbets Field. The exterior of the stadium looks like the old Ebbets Field. It was done that way on purpose. They have a lot of stuff honoring the Dodgers. I can remember a lot of people being up in arms when Citi first opened, that it felt like they were more interested in honoring a team that had left Brooklyn 50 years earlier than actually honoring their own team and their own team history. Less so now. I don't know that it's quite as bad now. They've added a Mets museum. They have other stuff there. But I'd have to agree. They went a little hard, I think, on all the Dodger stuff. As far as David Wright goes, is he a Hall of Famer? He could be in the Mets Hall of Fame. He will be in the Mets Hall of Fame. I would say the Mets should probably retire the number 5 in his honor. He was the face of the franchise for a decade. He leads the team in a whole bunch of stats, too. In a lot of categories, all time, he is the leader. Hits, RBIs, like so many different things. He was a great ball player. By all accounts, he was an even better human being. He is. He's not dead. I mean, he is an even better human being. I know the Mets, based on their history, they're not very keen on retiring too many numbers. Unlike the Yankees. I mean, for God's sake, I don't think the Yankees have any single numbers left. I think they're all retired. I think Jeter was the last one, right? Number 2, and they retired his number, and that pretty much took care of 1 through 9. So they don't even have any single numbers left. Nobody can wear them ever again. In this case, the Mets should retire number 5. Davey Johnson wore number 5. So even better. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Kill 2 birds with 1 number. And just retire the number 5. That being said, in my eyes, Wright, he falls short of Cooperstown. This isn't the WWE Hall of Fame where everybody gets in. I'm positive that had he not had his career cut short because of, the spinal stenosis and all of that, had he kept going, I mean, he was on track for a Hall of Fame career. He absolutely would have gotten there if he could have stayed injury-free. But sadly, I don't think he makes the cut. I don't think he makes the MLB Hall of Fame. But the Mets Hall of Fame is, I mean, that's a gimme.